With history forged through the centuries, it's rooted in proud traditions. It is the perfect place for an ultimate interaction with life in East and Central Africa. It survived colonial masters to become financial capital of Kenya. Home to a tenth of Kenya's population, Nairobi City plays a host to 5 million people during the day and 4 million people during the night. Challenged by the rapid expansion of the 21st century, Nairobi rests at the closest range of judgment, a testament to devolution streak.
I, Evans Odhiambo Kidero, do swear that I shall always, truly and diligently serve the people and the Republic of Kenya in the office of the governor. So help me God.
And with that, Nairobi County became the face of it all.
As a resident of this county, we have had several advantages that devolution has brought, and I want to touch on employment. Quite a good number of people from this county have been able to access employment opportunities in the county.
I mean, when we got into, after the elections in April 2013, we inherited the Nairobi Former City Council. We inherited about 7,000-8,000 employees. But together with that, on the devolved functions, we got another 9,000 employees, making them 17. We did the first census. We found there were 2,000 ghost workers whom we removed from the payroll. Our payroll cost went up from 600 million to 1.1 billion.
The payroll costs are above 50%, which is not sustainable in any government.
As part of our strategic plan and performance monitoring system are just some of the things that we are doing to ensure that we don't just have staff, but we have staff who are working in the right places, staff who are productive.
Making the workers think like one has been one of our biggest achievements. Cultivating a sense of self-worth in the worker has also been a very big achievement for us, because as HR, our asset is the worker. Our resource is the worker. There is no organization that can perform well without a happy worker.
To find answers to the current challenges, the county government had to take a U-turn from old ways of doing things.
It's been tough to shake off that tag, but what's been most disappointing is the culture of our own people, culture of the people who live in Nairobi, right? But we are leaders and we expect that to happen. So what have we done about it? We've run a culture change program that we started internally to change the culture of our people internally, to say, listen, we now must be moved from Kanjo Kingdom to service delivery, to servant leadership. Our primary role is to serve that citizen out there, not to harass them, not to maim them, not to kill them, not to intimidate them, but to serve them.
We are going to employ 600 county inspectorate people with the 50 fire officers. This we are undertaking in collaboration with the National Police Service, whereby they are going to help us on the recruitment, the curriculum of training. We are going to gazette the new uniform for the inspectorate, whereby we want to do that thing called Kanju. It's going to be a very different uniform, rebranded. We want to rebrand the people who are going to be the face of the county, the inspectorate. You will see different things.
just getting people to do what they're supposed to do, and that's give service, and qualified service to Nairobi residents. And we'll only retain workers who will give Nairobi workers, who will give Nairobians unqualified service, not a conditional service.
Nairobi County government inbred soaring levels of inadequate infrastructure and basic necessities like clean water, proper housing, sewer systems, and even scant road network.
We inherited a city where everything was central. Everything happened at City Hall. Now we have 17 sub-county administrators and 85 ward administrators. So what that has done is we have taken service delivery right to the ward level.
60% of development in Nairobi, 60% is unapproved development. So you find people have built houses, developments, business developments, you know, without approved plans.
To jumpstart service delivery in Nairobi, Governor Kidero settled on a 7-point master plan.
The first plan was done in 1927, the next one 1948, integrated plan. But there's none that has ever been delivered. We were able to deliver the Nairobi Urban Integrated Development Plan, what you call the new plan. We were able to put the first strategic plan 2015 to 2025 in place.
Master plan is to bring order and to have a city that's functional, right? Functionality means you don't want to live on one side of the city, say Roysambu, and the only school you can take your child to is in Kawangware. Which means that you have to travel across the city just to go to school or to access a hospital or to access offices. So what we are doing is we say you build the city into economic zones, where you put Eastlands as one economic zone, Westlands as one, you have Upper Hill that is our financial district, you have Karen now that's become a city within a city. All these things are done strategically. So the people in Karen can shop, can play, can work, you zone it for office buildings or commercial buildings, and so on and so forth. There's hospitals there, there's schools there, so that somebody doesn't have to leave their jurisdiction to go to another jurisdiction.
The city is undergoing certain level of decline, and so our intervention is to prevent further decay and also to renew areas where decay has taken place.
You know, Nairobi was never built for the Africans. Actually, Africans were supposed to have small single rooms. And that's the reason why 6.7 out of 10 people live in informal settlement. So what we want to do is to, and we'll be launching within the next month or so because plans are complete. We've already acquired partners. We will be building bed sitters, 1 bedroom, 2 bedroom, and 3 bedrooms. Right across at Ngara, at Jivanji, at Fort Jesus, then Bachelor's Estate, which is across from Kariako Market, and Pangani on this side, And on the other side, we will be building in Suna Estate, which will have an integrated market as well, and Jamhuri. We are going to do a total of 30,000 houses, which will be very, very affordable, affordable both in terms of purchase and in terms of rent, where we'll be, if you're renting, after 15 years, the house becomes yours. And then the second bit is on our Eastlands estates, where we have 12,000 acres starting from Shaurimoyo, Bahati, Kaloleni, Maringo, Jericho, Jerusalem, Makadara, Uhuru. We are also going to do an integrated, what you call mixed-use developments because there are lots of spaces, and we'll do high-rise with the houses that are fairly affordable. The feasibility study is just about complete, and by the time we're halfway with the Ngara, Pangani, Fort Jesus, the other ones will be starting.
What is that doing in areas like Pangani, where you have an estate on a large piece of land, 3 or so acres, only hosting 48 people? So we've said, fine, we've spoken to the residents, we've told them, we're going to move you temporarily into a commercial area. We're even going to pay your rent for you in that commercial area. We're going to bring down these 48 houses, and we're going to build you 1,800 houses. Because in 1950, the population in Pangani was very different than in 2016. So now you have to do your urban renewal. You have to take over the challenges of urbanization. So we are creating 14,000 new houses now on the 7 sites.
So how do we guarantee these people? We say that for the people who are living in those estates, we will give them house at on the basis of a tenant purchase, because they cannot afford mortgage. If we give them a tenant purchase, then we have to pay for that money as county. Then we will we'll get that money from them gradually in terms of rent. So what we have changed is that instead of paying us rent and you don't own, you will pay rent to own. They are all self-contained, certainly. Even things like gas can be piped. We make sure that even rainwater is harvested and treated and reused. Use of solar for heating, all those green solutions are inbuilt into the system. Building service is basically the provision of architectural services, engineering services, and quantity survey services to support the county to implement building projects.
If Nairobi has to be attractive to industrialists, industry investors in industry, to create jobs, investors in schools, in housing, and the level of development is all pegged on access to land. A place like Pipeline is a classic example here. All the developments in Pipeline have no approval. The reason was that the owners only had allotment letters from land buying companies, or in some cases even didn't have documents. So this is actually what informed the formation of regularization. Coming up with a regularization act, so that investors are given a window through which they can regularize their developments, including land. Land buying companies which went out, for example, to partition land and allocate. So the landowners only have allotment letters or share certificates. They may not have actual allotment letters, but share certificates.
And what regularization is okay, yes, we know the city grew without a master plan, we know we made mistakes, we know we didn't allow people to build without ownership documents like title deeds. So that has resulted in almost half, or a little more than half, what our census tells us, of Nairobi being illegal. There are illegal developments. People built, they are not approved, they didn't follow city bylaws, and even if they did, they are not approved by us. So we have said, okay, listen, let's bring back order into the housing and physical planning.
Nairobi Integrated Urban Master Plan proposes a sub-center system preferred by city structure planning in which residents will live in housing arrangements only around specific transport corridor.
In the last 4 years, we've been able to maintain and build new roads, a total of 2,200 kilometers. Yeah, I know we'll talk about congestion. At my insistence, we pushed the opening of the southern bypass, so now all trailers are not passing. And actually, the lorry drivers like it because it takes them only 30 minutes from Kikuyu to the airport road. 10,000 vehicles, new vehicles get registered every month in Nairobi. So to ease congestion, we are planning on building 9 transport corridors. The first one is Outer Ring Road, which is under construction at the moment. The next one we launched with the President last week, which is Ngong Road. The third one will be Jogoo Road. The fourth one is the overpass, which the feasibility study is nearly complete, coming from CMC, going up at CMC and dropping down after ABC towards Kabete and Kino. Langata Road is so these are being built for what you call BRT, bus rapid transit systems. We are at advanced stage in discussion with the Turkish people on construction of commuter rail, the line from Juja to Nairobi, Nairobi to Machakos, and Nairobi to Limuru, because that's the only way we can move huge populations.
We are not foreseeing a Nairobi which is monocore meaning that it has got one CBD. We are seeing a Nairobi which has got a center around Ruaka, a center around Karen, a center around Njiru and Kasarani. And we are integrating the bus or the matatu transport system. We integrate it with the light rail system. We integrate it with the non-motorized system so that if you are moving from one side of the city to the other, it is very, very easy for you to connect without walking long distances.
Also, there used to be lots of accidents because all roads which were built never had pedestrian walks, nor bicycle lanes. Right now, all the roads that we are building have what you call NMP, non-motorized transport. If you go to off Jogoo Road, going down towards Buruburu, you've seen what we've done on Rabai Road. You've seen the western link that starts from Nakumatt Prestige across to Kileleshwa, to Westlands. There's a new one that we are doing with the European Union, starting from the Link Road in Westlands, through Deep Sea, across Parklands, and joins Thika Super Highway. So all the roads that we are doing will have NMTs.
I think one of our thrusts has been to make Nairobi a 24-hour economy. And towards that end, we have, working with other sectors, improved the safety and security of Nairobians, particularly at night. This is by way of enhancing the lighting in partnership with Kenya Power, obviously, because they need to supply the energy and also do the service range for us.
I mean, we only inherited, Nairobi was dark because all the security lights were not working. People had pulled out all electric wires that serves the electric poles. Even the other thing we've done to make sure that there's no vandalism of electric wires is that we now do high voltage overpass and then drop them to the poles. So this obviously is a bit of, gives a tamper and thieving proof.
on the master plan, we are now looking at sewer, right? Where you have sewer outbursts all the time in the city, which is a big concern, not just because the residents are complaining, but it's a health concern. You can get outbreaks and so on and so forth. It's because some of those sewer pipes and sewer networks are 60, 70 years old. They have done their life. Like anything on earth, its lifetime is over. It needs upgrades, it needs renewals.
Recognizing that over the past 8 years or so, there has been massive development of real estate, and therefore the seepage area, when the rains fall, has reduced, leading into very high intense surface water runoff. Anytime we have now the flash floods, the water does not sink. It runs off the surface of the road, and the flood levels are now very high, and we have been able to contain that.
It needs expansion because the sewer networks that were done 40 years ago only covered 40% of Nairobi. The other percentage of Nairobi was probably forest, but now you have Karen that has come up. You have estates on Thika Road, on Mombasa Road, on Langata Road that never existed. You have all these suburbs. You can see now we're building a new city called Two Rivers. Yeah, just by Runda. Those places never existed. How do you provide infrastructure for them? Yeah, so as part of the master plan now, we are doing what you call the sewer master plan for Nairobi. So we can map out where are the sewers, which ones need renewal, which ones need new connectivity, where can we now begin to do very big infrastructure projects for sewer so we can ensure that waste, human waste, is disposed of properly in the city.
Through our company, which is 100% owned by Nairobi City County. This is the Nairobi Water and Sewage Company. This company produces 540 meters cubed of water per day. Yet the demand is 720 meters, 20,000 meters per day. We have a shortfall of about 200,000 meters cubed. So, but we are improving because we have the Northern Collector Tunnel. If it starts operating by the end of this year, we will increase our water supply in Nairobi by 140,000 meters cubed per day. So we'll have a very small shortfall of 60,000. We have other arrangements to improve our water demand. So that is our water sector. So I'm hoping that in a year's time, water rationing might come to an end. If we can harvest rainwater so that we use it in areas like watering our gardens, washing our cars, it will also help us. The other area we want to encourage, especially the car wash facilities, is for them to have the water recycling machines. So that if you are using, for example, 200 liters of water per day, if you recycle it, you will actually use 20 liters because the water you might waste is about maybe 10%. The other one, you recycle the same 200 liters. So we are now working on regulations to make sure that if you have a license or you apply for a license for a car wash facility, you must be able to recycle your water. In the low-income areas,